If you guys want to learn how to make this balloon Christmas present, then you have to watch this video. To get started, you're going to need 8 of one size balloons. So what I mean by that is you want to have 8 of one color, one size. So this is red. I think this is Qualatex, my Qualatex stash of just the color red. And I have 8 of these. These are 12. So I'm going to be sizing these down. And then you're also going to want 5-inch. So I have 5-inch in this metallic green. You only need 4 of these, but this is a 5-inch metallic green. I forgot the brand. I'll have to find the brand and let you guys know. But so you'll need 4 of the 5-inch and then 8 of the 12-inch. And then let me get my sizer. So for the 5-inch, this is the wooden sizer that I got off Amazon. I will link that for you guys. Now for the 5-inch, we are sizing the 5-inch down. I have my notes, sorry. We are sizing the 5-inch down to 4s. So you guys can see this is a 4 square. So this is the 4 square. So we're going to size the 5-inch down to 4s and make quads. And then for our 12-inch, we're sizing our 12-inch down to 8. So this side is the 8. Can you guys see that? Oh, upside down. So this side is just 8. So we're going to be sizing the 12 down to 8. So let's start with the 8-inch. I'm using my handy dandy pink. Sorry. I'm using my pink blower, and I'm just using the regular nozzle, not the 5-inch expander. Hold on. Got away from me. Okay, so as some of you may know, when you have this cone shape, this is not the shape that we want. But this is how you know it's almost at capacity. And you want to release the balloon, you want to release the air, release the nozzle or neck of the balloon, if you want to say, slowly as you push down. Okay, and as soon as it starts to be able to go through, then you want to stop. We'll do the same for this. And as you're pushing down, you want to just be mindful of not, pushing too hard, just kind of slowly push down. So we're going to do it again. And then you want to cross, tuck one under back to the top, and then cross again and tie. That's how I do it. Should have said this. So with these two dupes connected, which are a pair, you want to cross them and then just twist the top 2 3 times. I do 3 times, and then when we put it together, we're going to keep it flat like this. But this is how it might go back to this shape. It's while you're waiting to use it. It's fine. Just this is how we're going to put it together, though. Okay, so let's do 4 more of those. Another thing you can do is, since you are using a dual nozzle, if you're using a dual nozzle like this and your balloons are basically the same size, you can release this hand with the air and release this hand, and basically you're releasing the air on both at the same time, and essentially it'll make your um, make your prep a little faster because you're releasing the air at the same time. So watch. I'm gonna stop both of them. So then now they're almost about the same, but now I don't have to waste as much time releasing the air on this one because I pre-released the air. If that makes sense. And then we'll do that. Oh, yeah, I lost one. Okay, we'll do that one more time. Trying to think of any other tips I can give you guys as far as inflating. Okay, and then some people do this where they cross it and then move this hand around and then tie. So that's another way you could tie. I tend to do that because it just feels quicker. So you can do the 5 inch several ways. You can have a you can have a hand pump, which is up to you. For me, it really um, takes away my arm strength. So I don't like to use a hand pump, but I always have it in my toolkit just in case. Um, then you can also use these smaller nozzles on here. So that's what these are for. And these, if you have this brand or type, these just twist on. So that's sorry. So that's one way you could do it. And then there's also this thing that I tend to use if I'm at home and prepping. But this thing it has an on off button. It has two nozzles. I think the nozzles they're very distinct. So one's a little wider, one's I use for 5 inch. So we put the 5 inch on there. And then the only thing about this is that it's a single balloon. So if you don't want to if you're blowing up a lot of balloons, I recommend something that you can do like the dual one so you can do as many balloons as you can. But since we're just doing four, I think I'm going to use this 5 inch. And then we're sizing the 5 inch down to four. So we're going to put that side up. I'll just show you guys this. So you put the balloon on, you squeeze it, and then you turn it on. And the air will just keep flowing until you turn it off. Okay, this has a hole in it. Okay. And then so again, same concept. When you have your balloon, it gets a little cone shaped. You want to push down, and then you can kind of eyeball it beforehand. Like if you know what 4 inch looks like, you can eyeball it. See, I did it. So now these guys are the same. There. And then again, we'll do two more. So okay, that has a hole in it again. Let's grab another one. Let me grab another one. I haven't used this color in a long time, so I feel like for a single blower, that does blow up very fast. See, this one's already kind of eyeballed. Okay, so then we have our two. Twist it together. Okay, so now we have that. And then we're going to make this the green into a quad. as well, like that, same concept. Okay, so now that we have that, we're gonna make this into the little cross shape or square shape, whatever you want to call it. And we're gonna take our red and we're gonna make that into a square shape as well. Okay. And what you're gonna do is put the green on top of the red. So the red's gonna be on the bottom and the green's gonna be on top. Put that on top like that. And you want to take a 260 to do this. So stretch it out. Now, if you were using this for a centerpiece or an outdoor decoration, you could attach this to a pole or something like that. But I'm going to, I don't need it weighted down for this demonstration. You could also weight it down with a weighted balloon of some sort under the bottom. If you're used to doing balloon stacks, it's similar to that. And then so one end of the 260, I always start with the closed end so I can get all the air out. I'm gonna leave an inch or so, just in case I want to add a weight. I like to do that. We're just gonna come out to the other side like this, and we're just gonna tie it into a knot. Sorry if you guys can see. Okay, so now this is in the middle of this, and we want to make sure our square is flat on our table. And you're gonna pull. And you don't have to pull that hard because we're not making a rope or anything like that. And we're not making a column. We're not making a Christmas tree. So we don't need it as tight as possible. We're not making a base. So you don't need to make it so tight. You just need to make it tight enough to keep the balloons together. You're going to take your green quad, put that on top, and then do a figure 8 here. Okay. And then we have that. Then you're going to get your other red quad, turn that into your square, and then you're going to put that directly on top. You're still going to hold this because this, you want it stretched out so you can wrap it around the red quad. And you're going to do it so it's not directly on top of the green, it's crisscross. And then this way you're going to go to the other side and do a figure 8 and come back to the middle. And then because of the way that what we're making, you can just tie this off. We don't need the excess on the top, but if you have it, it's fine. It's not going to show. So this is so far, this is just our present. Okay, it looks very simple. And we're going to set this aside. Next, we are going to use 4 260s, and we're actually going to blow these up this time. So again, with the 260s, just like the 5-inch, you can use a hand pump and you can use a single blower. I feel like the nozzle on the single blower is better better than the dual pump, because this is the dual pump and then this is the single blower. And so I feel like because this is more narrow, it's better. It's similar to using a hand pump. So I prefer to just use that. So we're gonna pump this up we're gonna inflate this full of air. I like to stretch them out regardless of how I'm using my 260s. I just like to stretch them out. We're gonna pump this up full of air and leave maybe at minimum 2 inches. If you want to leave more, that's fine too. But you're gonna leave some space at the end. So turn it on until okay, and if you put sorry. If you put too much air and you don't have enough, you feel like you don't have enough, you can always release some air out and just use the end. I think I'm gonna enough for a hand grip. So if you can grip it with your whole hand at the end, that's kind of what you want. I think I skipped a step in my notes. Again, I haven't worked with these in a long time, so I really don't remember. But I think maybe that's a problem. See, you learn even as you're teaching the class. Okay, let's try tying these together. Maybe. Oh my God! Don't tell me. I already feel it. I already feel the difference. But my hand is already like in cramp mode. Oh my gosh. Okay, so next time, tie these together. That is easier, so that you could do it either way. But tying the two together beforehand. Oh my god, because my hand feels like this. Right? There's two here, two here. You're gonna make a cross, and we're just gonna twist it one time together, and this is gonna be our bottom. Okay. Now, depending on if you used a weight or something on the bottom to weigh this down, that will be what you put on top of the cross that you made with the 260s. But if you didn't do that, then you just plop it, put your present or plop your present on top of the 260s. So that way the 260s are nestled in between. And then, so when you bring this up, it should be in between the two. Okay. And you want to plop this present on top in the middle. And I'm having issues. Uh, we're going to use this as our little bow. So I'm gonna go like one, two, three hands in, twist. And then we're gonna pinch this right here, twist as well, twist that off. Because we already have one right here, so we don't need a bunch. And then we're just going to connect this in the middle, twisting it in. Okay. And then with these excess ones, tie it off really tight. You can always just cut off the excess, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna tie this really tight here. Come on. Oh my gosh, my hands are cramping so bad. That's why I don't I don't work with 260s because oh my god. It makes my hands go fiery. Okay. So this is our little gift. Looks more like a cherry, I know. Looking for scissors. Oh, okay. So I recommend doing this, not this. I recommend doing this. So if you have extra balloons, like extra from your, what is it? From your 260s that you wrapped around, then you want to cut that off early. I'm not going to do that. So I don't want to make this video too long. Top, but that's okay. I recommend making like four of these. So it'll look more like a bow. You can do two. I think two is fine. If this was like this, then it would look better. It still looks like a present to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's good. I think it's good enough for the demo. I do apologize for that because my notes, I skipped a step in my notes to kind of guide me. So I do apologize. But yeah, that's the basic concept. So just in time for Christmas, if you guys need to make anything like this is about what for a tabletop. This is about what 2 feet tall, a little under 2 feet tall. If you're going to use this as a centerpiece, you can always make your these red ones bigger. So again, this was 8, this was 12, sized down to 8 inches. And then in the middle, we sized the 5 inch down to 4. So you just want to keep kind of the same ratios. Hopefully, this was educational. Hopefully, you guys learned something new. Hopefully, you guys don't have hand cramps like me and can get through tying your 260s. I am so sorry. My hand does not like tying 260s. So that really, really hurts. But yeah, so hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. If you are in the balloon crew, then let me know any other videos that you want to learn. If you are not in the balloon crew and you're watching this on YouTube, then join the balloon crew. There will be a link down below. It's a free community that I have for all those that love balloons. And I will see you guys in the next one.